Hi. Okay,
Hi.
so welcome to another Miracle Monday where Mom and I have conversations that we have all the time, but we're doing them to share them with whoever might be listening to this in the hopes that it inspires them in some way. Um, and so this is the last Monday, um, the last Miracle Monday of the year, from the perspective of listeners listening to this. So they're listening to this, and I mean, depending on when they listen, but if they listen to it fairly shortly after it's dropped, then it's going to be almost New Year's, which is, a time of like hoopla and setting 5 million goals and, you know, yeah, it's a time of high energy often of like hopes for the next year. Um, so my question or my thought, something I thought we could talk about is how do you look at entering a new year? Like, what's your process? You're not a hoopla, set smart goals and set your alarm for 5 hours earlier so you can get everything done and, like that. Like a many much of us in the world of like in the world, let's just say, are inundated with do more, achieve more. If you don't have time, get up earlier, commit to yourself. If you want things, you got to push, like that kind of thing. And I can see by the smirk on your face. And I want to say one thing is that you're at a different stage of life, but but there's an
I've
also
never done it.
that's what I was going to say. So I know that that is not how you've ever done life. And so I want to hear because the listeners, the feedback that I'm getting, and I do share it with you, as often as I can, is like people are loving you. People are loving you and hearing how you do life, and you are inspiring people on these episodes.
Mm.
And so Lynn Robinson does it different than I'm going to say, quote unquote, everyone else. And so teach us, Lynn, how do you do it?
Well, so I think that, so I'll just tell you right now what's going on in my
Yep.
mind
Yep.
for this current, and then we can talk about, things I've done in the past and whatever. But I mean, again, I feel like I just repeat myself over and over and over again in that. Um, so first of all, what something that was triggered was when I think I've shared this with you, is that 2025 was a 9 year. So I look at things not deeply, but on the surface, if it serves me, I guess, really.
You mean you look at unique ways of looking at things, but you don't dig in and dig in. You look at
No,
them
I
on
I
high
don't
level to just get a sense of what, say, numerology or this or that might give you as guidance.
exactly.
Okay.
Only if it's a good thing,
Yeah.
actually, to tell you the truth. But so as an example, I just noticed that 2025 was a 9 year, and in numerology, that means that's ending. So that's a 9 year period of endings, which excites me because I've
Yes.
had enough
Yeah.
stuff happening in these last 9 years that I am so ready for what is now a 1 year, and that's new beginnings. So that kind of triggers thoughts for me. And so I ended up having a dream the other night that I was teaching somebody how to put things into their future. And so I was, I don't know who the person was, some guy, and I was teaching him how to put it in his future. And I was like really stressing, go out into the future and see what you want to see and connect to the feelings. And he'd come back and with his eyes open talking to me. I'm like, no, go out to the future and feel the feelings. And I kept saying that over and over to this guy, whoever he was. So when I woke up, that was on my mind. And so when I started thinking about the future, so again, obviously that's what we teach, how to
That's right.
set your goal
That's
in the
right.
future. But
Yeah.
what it triggered for me was like, okay, so next Christmas, I I want to take the whole family, 12 people, to some kind of all-inclusive resort. I want us to have Christmas together in a tropical place, all of us. So I don't so I don't make plans, but that's what I want. I
Yeah,
really, and I think about it a lot
yeah,
now, and again, not a plan, just how, oh my gosh, can you imagine me calling each person and saying, "Yay, guess what? Are you available to go?" So that's kind of my thing. And then along with that, then I was like, and oh, so then I'd like to make the money to do that, like not take it out of our money or whatever. It's like, I want a special kind of account for that. And so right now I just started with a brand new breakthrough coaching client. So I've got my first little piece for that. And then I thought, okay, well, Mel and I were going to you talk about doing a retreat. Okay, so Mel and I can do, I thought two. And then I thought, well, maybe let's just go for one retreat. So we'll do a retreat. And then maybe we'll have like three or four VIP clients. And then I'll have a few. So I think
right.
of it in that way. I
Yeah,
don't map it out, but I dream it in. It's like, yeah, retreat, VIP clients, private clients for me, and just I play with it in that way. And it's all for imagine being able to take everybody to an all-inclusive resort for Christmas.
yeah.
So that's really I've never ever, I don't think that I can remember anyways, ever set goals like everybody else does. I feel goals are empty. I feel they're things we just do. And I think when we want something from our heart and our soul, it's like something inside of us just shows us the way to do it in a flowing, and I'm going to say easy way, in a way that's enjoyable to get there. This is just my opinion. I know it's different than everybody else's.
You're like apologizing for being different, but you're a happy at peace person. So I think this is what I'm asking for. And I mean, I think we do it very similarly because I happen to have spent my life with you.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's beautiful to share because what I would love listeners to hear is that maybe there's a different way. And maybe there's a path that could be with more ease, with more peace, that's more aligned, that feels good because you're dreaming and you're getting to feel like that thing has happened, even though it hasn't happened yet. So right now you're feeling like look how you light up when you're talking about being in Mexico with your family. Like that's a gift that you can give your body and yourself every day. Like there's just so many pieces of it. And underneath, I'll say this trip to Mexico means you're healthy, means your trainings are
Exactly.
done, means you've made money to do it, means we're all connected and love each other as a family, which is a given. But I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of things that big thing means. So you don't have to necessarily go, I am going to stop my drainings. Like there, I'm not going to need drainings anymore. I'm going to be completely healthy. I'm going to be this. You don't need to say all that because as long as you're in Mexico next Christmas with your family, it means all of those things have happened. So can you talk about that a bit? Because I think people get really hooked on all of the details that need to happen and then the joy and the excitement of that thing kind of gets sucked away by how we're going to do it. So,
So again, I feel like in my opinion, in the whatever, is that simply like the minute a lot of people don't achieve things because they think they need to know the how
yeah,
first.
yeah,
So they think, I have this goal, I want to do this, I want to achieve this. Now, how am I going to do it? So they won't get excited about that thing and make it real until they know every step of how they're going to do it. The big challenge, I think, with that is that you don't know what's going to happen.
yeah,
Like you can think I'm going to do this. How can you plan every little thing you're going to do because it's dependent on you and a million other things happening in a certain way. But if you deeply desire something, then you're going to be inspired and you're going to get ideas and you're going to see opportunities that you never would have seen. If you have everything down in black and white, you could have the most amazing experience right knocking at your door, and you don't hear the knock because you're too busy because you thought you knew how you could do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you don't work, I'm going to say work hard, but I've never felt it was working hard.
But you have worked what people would call working hard because
Exactly.
you worked. You didn't sit on the couch and manifest it.
No,
Like you did that piece of it, but you also took action
but I
towards.
and I took action from a different place. I
Yeah.
just decided that I wanted to experience something. And
Yeah.
I've always said, I feel like I've done these things from a place of childlike innocence. You know how kids just, ooh, I want to be a
Yeah.
princess.
I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah. Um, so I feel like I didn't bother thinking about those things. I just thought, ooh, that would be fun. Ooh, I'd like this. Ooh, that, and but I never pushed to get it. And I feel like I've experienced things in my life that I couldn't have planned it. Like, I really don't think I could have. But even like me working and traveling, I decided when I was 17 years old, my very first trip to Hawaii, I fell in love with the island and the idea of travel and work. Well, I thought that meant I was going to be a flight attendant, but I couldn't be a flight attendant because I was too young. Then I finally was old enough and I couldn't be one because I was married. And so scrap that. However, somewhere inside of me, I really planted that desire to work and travel. And then again, when you and Brad were gone, all of a sudden I had all these opportunities to work and travel that I couldn't have dreamt in.
Mhm.
I just couldn't have,
Yeah.
so that's how I do it. So yeah, I mean, and I'll be thinking about the retreat, even though we don't have a plan for a retreat, but you mentioned one, so it's like that sounds good to me. So,
Yeah.
but I think we're meant to live in joy and be happy. It doesn't mean we don't put in effort. It just means we do it from our heart and soul, not from this. That's my opinion.
And I guess there's an element of it as you're talking, it makes me think, um, and I don't know that this is the right wording, but like there's an element of it that is towards motivated versus away from motivated. So it's like you're moving towards your goals versus like a fear of not being able to do that or something. Like there's something because I think people do get caught in fear and worrying that they're not going to be able to have it or worrying about all of these things that are like going on in the world and just all of
Yeah.
these things that might stop them. I had a friend and she listens to this so she'll smile when I say this, but like talking about wanting to get all of her travel in the next 10 years in case the government shuts travel down, because we learned in COVID that the government can do things like that. And like just sort of thinking in those ways of like what
Yeah.
ifs where we
Mhm.
don't think in that way.
Mhm.
Um, it's towards our dreams because we don't know what the future holds. So you may as well do things from a place of joy. So I guess my point is like you want to, have this or somebody has whatever their goal is, their dream, what it's not like your traditional goal, but but and then you take action, but you take action because it's exciting, because it's joyful, because you can't wait to have that experience, and then you're inspired and you're motivated to do. So it might look the same from the outside. It might look like this person is working hard towards their goals. What that person feels like as they're doing the things that they need to do to move towards that is, is is different. And they might change trajectories
Yeah.
because they're open, because all they care about is how they feel at the end of all of this.
Exactly. It's just it is a different way of thinking and
Yeah.
and I think that's why too. I mean, that's why our emotional state is really important. That's why we do the work about releasing negative emotions and limiting beliefs and because they stop us from doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I do feel, again, if we want to look at success and business and making a good income and all those kinds of things, I mean, think back. I decided to quit a job, a really good job
Yeah.
as a corporate trainer to start my own company. I had no money behind me. I didn't have a business plan. I was just so excited to share this with everybody. I just thought everybody will want it and everybody will need it. And so that's what I did. I started my company. But the interesting thing about it is it really got launched when I ended up doing like that, the color therapy, which I hadn't planned.
Hmm.
And somebody was supposed to come into the city to Vancouver to to teach this or to do it, and there was a big going to be a big write-up about her and whatever. She couldn't come. So they gave me a two-page spread in this magazine, and that's how my business started. I had all these
Yeah.
people wanting to work with me. I never, honestly, I could not have planned that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all those are the kinds of things,
Miracles,
miracles,
right?
exactly.
Little miracles along the way. Okay, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Um, I was just going to be really rude and be like, because I don't really care about business success, but I'm not in a stage where that's like what I'm passionate about, helping people, because I think there's so many people out there that help with building your business. Like if somebody wants to go do that, there's a million people that they can go and learn from.
Yes, I
Even though
agree.
I think we do a really good job and what we share, it's helps people do that. When I'm thinking about like what I'm passionate about is like what I've been talking about 2026 is there's so much focusing on what you want to do, like what you want to accomplish. And I really am feeling this huge calling this year for whatever reason. Probably it's no different than any other year, but it's really prevalent. Is like, I want people to be thinking about how they want to feel as they throughout this year. So it's like starting with the end in mind is what I keep saying. So going out to New Year's 2026, and they're like, this was the best year. They're feeling whatever it is they want to feel, happy, vibrant, content, at peace, like joyful, whatever they want to feel. And then what needs to happen in this year in order to have them feeling that way. And again, not what needs to happen as in I bought this or make this or whatever, but like what are the whether it's time with the people they love or experiences or carving out more me time or whatever it might be. Anyway, so I'm really thinking about, because I'm thinking about it for me too, like because at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters is how we're feeling. Because if we're feeling, stressed and overwhelmed and defeated or pushing or like whatever it might be, then it doesn't really matter what we achieve because we didn't enjoy the journey. So I don't know if you have anything to share about that or if you can make that sound more succinct or what your thoughts are on that, but it's just really what I've been thinking about and kind of what I've been sharing with the women in midlife awakening and thing is try to think about, okay, I know everybody's going to set goals and do that because that's what people do at New Year's. I don't love New Year's resolutions because I just think if you really want something, you do it whenever, you decide you want it. Like I wanted to eat for my allergies. I started November 1st. I didn't wait until January after the holidays. I started November 1st. Like when you really want something, you do it when you want it. So I kind of think New Year's resolutions are I don't know. I was going to say dumb. Whatever. It's up to everybody to do it how they want. I do love the idea of setting intentions for a year and specifically around how you want to feel and what kind of experiences you want to have. So, do you have anything to add or share that's more succinct than my babble that I just shared?
No, I think it's really good. There's two things that I'd say. Like one is that again, going to the end of 2026 and being able to, you're sitting down and thinking, "Yay, what a great year. That was so amazing."
Yeah.
You don't have to know why it was so amazing. That's what will stop you. So
Yeah.
all you have to do is go there and to the end of the year and just imagine you're talking to your best friend or to your husband or your wife or your kids or whoever saying, "Oh, that year was incredible. I
Yeah.
just had the best year." That's the piece. The minute you start looking at how all the details of what you might want to do in order to get there, that's what I think stops people. So even though at some point you think about things you want, if you aren't used to doing life this way, and if you do that too quickly, and start thinking about, oh, well, I want to do this and I want to do this. And I think you have to be careful,
Right.
right? I mean, even like when I said about the things that I thought about, there's like four things or something. They're big things. I have no details whatsoever. They
Yeah.
just sound like fun to me.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I think until you're really used to that bigger picture and that feeling, it's the emotional connection. I think then you really run the risk of being, of thinking, "I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this." And I think you can get caught without meaning to get caught. So I think in the beginning, when you're learning the strategy, I think you have to be really careful and just think bigger picture. Like, if I could just do anything I wanted, what would be fun? What would be
Yeah.
crazy? What would be, it's like,
Like I know that in 2026 I want more fun, more laughter. I want to carve out time for me. Like I want to make sure that I am not sitting at my desk working all the time. But I don't know what I'm going to do to have fun. I don't know what taking time, like I just know that there's more time for me to, and that I really want to, I see fun and laughter and time, like time for that.
mhm.
But I'm not trying to map out what I'm going to be doing on Monday afternoons and Friday afternoons to bring in the
No,
fun and bring in it's just like, I just know that that's what I want. And that's the feeling that I want to connect to. And I know that as long as I hold on to that, that
yeah.
those opportunities will show themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And having fun with your kids because you love being with your kids and
Yeah.
you and I doing stuff together and
Yeah.
just it's not about the details. Like,
So let's give the listeners one thing to leave with.
well, I think the biggest thing, honestly, if they want to just do the, going out to the end of 2026, and just imagine there they are, and just imagine, like I say, just talking to their friend or talking to somebody and just saying, "This was the most amazing year ever. Who could have ever dreamed in a year so fantastic?" But you have to really believe it and feel it. It's like when we help people do it, you need this kind of, um, like,
Tonality and
yeah,
like
tonality.
realism.
You
Yeah.
can't just go,
Yeah.
"I had the best year ever.
I'm
I had
talking to
so
my
much
friend
fun."
and I pick up the phone and I go, "Wow, friend, this was the best year."
Yeah. It's like, no, it's like you have to be willing to play with it.
Yeah.
Imagine you're playing with a little kid and you want to get them excited. How do you get a little kid excited? Not by saying, "Okay, let's go out and have some fun," right? It's like, so maybe think about that. If you want to get excited, Imagine you were wanting to get a child excited. How would you talk? What would how would you say it? Dream it in. Don't get practical.
Mhm.
Being practical is going to limit you in this sense. If it's deep enough, you will do the practical things. Don't worry about that. You're smart enough
Yeah.
to do all that.
Yeah.
It's the dreaming and the excitement that's going to get it for you. So get ready to pack your bags for Mexico. Well, I don't
Yay!
know if it's Mexico. I didn't say
Yeah.
Mexico. I said
Tropical.
tropical.
Tropical. Palm
Yeah.
trees,
Yeah.
beach,
Turquoise
water,
water, me swimming in
swimming in the
turquoise
water. That's
water,
critical. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I don't know where.
Yeah.
I might limit myself by thinking I know where.
Yeah. So general is good in this regard because again, then you're open to the possibilities that present themselves versus getting so locked in to one specific pathway.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, I just have to say one other little thing. It's like that first trip to Hawaii. I mean, I decided on that first trip that I wanted to get married in Hawaii. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, heard them sing the Hawaiian wedding song. It's like, I want to get married here. Well, I didn't the first time,
Yeah.
but it was deep enough that for the second marriage, I got married in Hawaii
Yeah.
on the beach. It's like,
Yeah.
so just dream.
I mean, the same thing is with this condo. I
Yes,
would always
exactly.
imagine living in a condo on a
Yes,
like on water. It wasn't like lake or ocean or like I didn't care. And that I would walk out my door and walk to get a coffee and walk to like and I just
yes.
and actually I thought it was never gonna happen. Like I actually didn't think it was gonna happen. It's just a dream that always entered my mind. But I logistically, like logically, it didn't make sense because Jason putters on cars and needs property and all that kind of stuff. So it's like it was always there but I didn't even like I just didn't even think it was going to be a reality. He had agreed we would rent one for at some point for 6 months so I could like fulfill that dream, you know. Anyways, it's just one of those things that it was always there and always present. And
Because
I,
it was sincere.
yeah,
It was
because I really
truly
wanted it. Yeah.
sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is why when I walked through the door, it was like, oh wow, oh boy. But but it's that kind of thing. It's like, well, and I guess I'll say this in case somebody doesn't have that natural, like we're talking about that came to you, um the wedding came and the travel came to you like just naturally that deep desire
Yes.
was there. This condo for me, naturally that deep desire was there. However, I do want to make sure, and then I think we do have to get off, but I want to make sure that the listeners know you can conjure that up. So if something so if you want something, and again, you woke up and you thought of the Mexico or the tropical, but somebody can also decide they want something and then follow the same strategy that we do naturally sometimes in order to make that a reality. So if somebody is listening and thinking, well, I don't know, I don't have a dream like that that just always comes to me naturally. Well, you can decide you want something, and then you can put the same strategy in place like purposefully that we do naturally those other times. So, meaning every day connecting with that, imagining how amazing it is, creating that like excitement with your tonality inside yourself, playing with it, dreaming. And you can do that on purpose to achieve whatever it is, even if it's not, doesn't naturally happen. So, that's important too.
Oh, because again, sorry, I have to say this. That's what NLP is all about.
Yeah.
It's finding out how somebody does something. So if somebody's successful at doing something, how the heck do they do it? What are they doing inside their head? So what we're sharing with them, with everyone who cares
Listens.
to listen, anyone, um, is this is a mental strategy that has proven itself to work.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Yeah, and we've proven it to ourselves. Like if everyone looks back and goes, there were things that they really wanted and they didn't stop thinking about it, and every day they thought about it and they talked about it to their friends and they got excited about it and whatever, and eventually they achieved those things. That is like how we achieve things easily. It's just when it's not happen when it doesn't happen naturally, then it's implementing that strategy in order to make it a natural.
Yes. And just one other thing, don't make it too much that, okay, every day I have to think about this.
Yeah.
It's like, let it come to you. Like it has to be sincere.
Yeah.
Let it come to you. You don't have to do it every single day. You don't have to do it every moment. It's simply, oh yeah, I'd
Play
love
with
to do
it.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll stop talking.
Okay. So, to everyone, happy dreaming on what an amazing 2026 is coming for you. And I can't wait to go to a tropical destination with my mama.
Woohoo!
Okay. I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.